began as peaceful protests has turned into a rage against the state. Mass rallies and riots have erupted in cities across France. Nearly 140,000 people took to the streets on Saturday, 10,000 alone in Paris. They call themselves the Yellow Vests. The demonstrators say they've been ignored by the elite, but with their fluorescent vests, they've become visible. The protest began last month, with people marching against an increase in fuel tax. But they've been expanded into other grievances, such as low wages, high living costs, and small pensions. Now many are urging the French president to resign.
What we want is a change of government. That's something we can agree on. Most people, everyone wants that. We don't want them anymore. They're no longer credible. It's impossible.
Emmanuel Macron is accused of being out of touch and of not listening to the complaints of ordinary people. The government caved into the initial demand of the protesters, dropping the planned fuel hike last week. But the Yellow Vests aren't satisfied. They say more must be done to address what they say is rising inequality in France. The rallies have been held for 4 weekends in a row, and the vandalism is hurting business.
Je pense que c'est une très mauvaise nouvelle pour l'économie française.
I think it's very bad news for the French economy, very bad news for business owners, and for all those who counted on their year-end sales to bring in higher revenues.
The loss for businesses across France is estimated to be $1.5 billion. The French president kept quiet during the protests. He says he didn't want to aggravate the demonstrators, but that hasn't worked, and calls for him to resign have grown louder. Macron's approval ratings have dropped to 23% from 34% in August. Now, after weeks of unrest, he's finally spoken.
Nous voulons une France où l'on peut vivre dignement de son travail. Sur ce point, nous sommes allés trop lentement. Je veux intervenir vite et concrètement sur ce sujet.
Macron says the minimum wage will be increased by more than $100 a month. Employers will be encouraged to pay an end-of-year bonus, and a planned tax for pensioners will be cancelled. The president condemned the violence, but said the anger of protesters was, in many ways, legitimate. But Macron says he won't reintroduce a tax on the rich. So will these concessions be enough to appease the Yellow Vests? And does this show that violent protests are effective? Hyder Abbasi, The Newsmakers.